simply change your physical scenario. Why do I say that? Okay. The reason why I say that is because most of your perceptions are formed by the input which you receive through your five senses, right? Something that you hear, something that you change your physical scenario. Why do I say something that you smell? The reason why I say that is because most of your perceptions are formed that you eat by the reminds you of a particular stress through your five senses, right? In your life, something that you hear, something that you change your physical scenario. Why do I say something that you smell? The reason why I say that is most of your perceptions are formed that you eat by reminds you of a particular stress through your five senses, right? In your life, something that you hear, something that you change your physical scenario. Why do I say something that you smell? The reason why I say that is most of your perceptions is mindfulness, taking a pause and questioning yourself. What am I doing? What am I thinking? Are they both same or not? If they are not same, simply bring yourself back to the here and now. That is number two. Number three is mindfulness, taking a pause and questioning yourself. You know, most what am I doing tend to remain negative. Are they both and same become or not? Negative if they are not same? Entertain whatever bring yourself back to the here and now. We entertain it and we tend to believe it. Number three is right? Mindfulness, we never question it and questioning yourself. You know, most what am I doing tend to remain negative. Are they both and same become negative if they are not same? Entertain whatever comes out. Is it really my thought or is it entertain it? And we tend to believe it. Number three is right? Mindfulness. We never question it and questioning yourself. You know, so most what am I doing tend to remain negative. Are they both and become negative if they are not same? Entertain whatever comes out. Is it really my thought or is it?
While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front in college or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At Mitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success.
Mental health program is designed to deal with relationship issues and to identify your negative emotions. It also concentrates on customized mental counseling. The benefits of mental health program for working professionals are to enhance emotional quotient, to manage work stress, to increase positive affirmations. The benefits for university students are to identify power of daily goal focus, helps to increase positive affirmations, to create far better impact on life, and to improve state of mind objectively.
While progressing in student life, at times we often feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. And deciding how to prioritize different facets of daily self-management gets hectic. When to relax, when to study, family time, what the right goals should be, and how to optimize our academic performance. A lot is not known in the journey a student has embarked upon. Lack of motivation, peer pressure, expectations at the academic front is draining for the student and parents. Most of the time, the focus is on working hard.
We can help you. At Mitr, we engage with a student wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their academic performance to optimal. Our involvement helps students in a great way by setting right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities, teaching them how to optimize their time management and self-awareness of same, being in the rut, help enhancing their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping, dealing with success and failure, and techniques to reinforce their goals and processes. Help them grooming with soft skills, very necessary in the competitive selection process.
About happiness in life. Consider that everything that we do about life and everything that we do in life is all about eventually being happy. Happiness is the ultimate goal of life. Levels of happiness could vary, but the higher the level of happiness, the best it works.
Favorite line that I always love to talk about, and something that I love to use on myself is also that there is nothing that can't be worked on, right? everything in this world, almost everything, right? Almost everything is something that can be worked on, could be, developed, right? Could be improved. We as human beings have such amazing capabilities and capacity that once we identify a certain thing, we can definitely try to improve on the
If
same.
you're really, if it is paining you, probably it's not your strength area, it's a weak area, right? If maths pain you, probably maths is not your strength area. If you love talking with people, maybe communication is your strength area. So some of these things, you will know it yourself. Further, apart from that, do ask your friends. Please ask your friends, what do you think I'm really good at? And they will tell you, rattle down those 3-4 things that you're really good at. Ask your parents. And sometimes parents also tell, मेरा बेटा इसमें से बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा मैथ्स में अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा दोस्तों के साथ बहुत अच्छी तरह से रहता है. They keep telling these things oftenly without you noticing it. So whatever they repeatedly tell about you, good about you, is your strength area, right? So ask your teachers. Teachers observe you. They see your scores, they see your habits, they see your behaviors. Based on that, they will tell you what you're really good at. Second
So
thing,
what are the changes that's happened? Things that are looking very different is work from home may continue to be a way of life, because organizations have realized, people have realized that nothing, there are lots of things that can be done as well from home and possibly better. And those professions will perhaps continue to enjoy the benefit of working from home, if I might call that. Education and training have already gone digital, but there's a lot of scope of improvement. And with that, there would be a lot of training of the trainers that will come into play. We perhaps will not have to travel so much from work, because earlier we used to just take a flight for a 1-hour meeting to Chennai, or for some training session to attend in Dubai. And that's
the
definitely
way I look at analyzing work, or a analogy to work, is more to do with your mind, where you do your all logical things, your aspirations, everything is logical.
The message here is we all have our starting points, we have our journeys, and we have our destinations. So today it might look like we're not headed anywhere, but in the end, it will all work out. So there's no need to be disheartened at all, and it is absolutely fine to be an average. The second part of the story goes where it comes about finding your own mojo. While I was an average student, I ensured just one thing. I kept my desire to learn and keep that fire inside of me ignited. Whether it was traveling, meeting new people, or even exploring new cultures, it was all about upskilling myself for me. Although while learning, I didn't really know where that was actually heading to. But then if I were to look back and think and connect the dots, I have the job that I have today only because of the skills and knowledge that I.
The Time Tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the Time Tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work-life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
24/7 Chatbot Access program is designed to help you sort some emergency access and avails you the 24/7 support system with qualified counselors.
The chat box is open to our learners at all times. You can clear your doubts and queries by simply dropping a question here, and we will try our best to answer them as soon as possible and to the best of our ability.
Benefits of the 24/7 chatbot access for working professionals are: it makes your life easier, it makes you stress-free, it helps you to avail expert advice which will help you in life to go further. Benefits of 24/7 chatbot access program for university students are: it helps you minimize the exam stress, it helps in finding out the life goals. Benefits of the 24/7 chatbot access program for school students are: it helps to reduce stress during exams, and it helps to access counseling sessions and different webinars at Mentor Mitr.
Environment Questionnaire, a set of questions designed with the aim to know the basis of an individual and works as a base for further action.
This is the questionnaire section. Here, you will be required to provide a few basic information about yourself, such as your current educational status, your future goals, etc. This is just to draw a precursory sketch before you begin your journey with us and our mentors.
The benefits of the Environment Questionnaire for working executives is knowing your version and work towards making it better. Gap analysis is done to find right solutions, understanding and identifying your needs from the base and working towards it, as well as knowing and identifying your goals and what needs to be done next. The benefits of the Environment Questionnaire for university students is knowing their version and making it better, bringing you from the zone of concern to the zone of comfort, assist you adequately using your environment and support system, as well as recognizing the needs from the very beginning and working on the same. The benefits of Environment Questionnaire for school students is knowing their version and making it better with an external expert view, help them leverage their environment and support system to drive them correctly, help them bridge a gap. All the constituents of our program, we also cater to the mental health of an individual, which ultimately helps an individual in case of working executives to affirm their right goals, identify their negative emotions, and create positive affirmations. Flexible counseling help reinforce behavior needed to improve the quality of life. A buddy and mentor who becomes part of your growth journey. In case of university students, it helps them deal with relationships better and put the right perspective, identifies one's negative emotions and worries and creates positive affirmations. Flexible counseling help reinforce behavior needed to improve their quality of life. For school students, it helps them deal with relationship issues better and put the right perspective to what's needed. Flexible counseling help reinforce behavior needed to improve their quality of life. A buddy, mentor who becomes a part of their growth journey and understands them when and how it's needed. So, along with all our other constituents, mental health is also considered essential and the issues are catered to.
This is the clip from a live session that we have every Friday on Instagram. Various IGTV videos from our live sessions are available where our experts from various fields have shared their insights with us. Do check out our IGTV on Instagram for wonderful and insightful discussions on various topics ranging from relationship to mental health to leadership and career building.
During these tough times, I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. I welcome each one of you to another webinar session by Mentor Mitr. Today's webinar session is on emotional intelligence, how to develop and enhance. After the completion of the webinar, you can receive your e-certificate. The steps to avail the e-certificate are as follows. Attend the complete webinar. Once you see thank you displayed on the screen, there will appear a link to Google Attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback form emailed. Fill the questionnaire that you receive in your mail for the details. Follow our page on Instagram and Facebook. If the above stated steps are followed, an e-certificate will automatically be mailed to you. Kindly note that e-certificates will be mailed in 24 to 48 hours. Mentor Mitr is a mentoring organization. Our aim is to guide individuals where they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their academic performance to optimal. Our involvement helps students to set the right goals and enable them to define and manage their priorities as well as enhance their EQ. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's webinar session on emotional intelligence, how to develop and enhance. The session will be led by established professional, Miss Rachel. And audience, please feel free to leave your questions in the chat box and we will try to answer them in the question and answer session in the end. So our speaker for the day is Rachel ma'am. Welcome ma'am and thank you so much for joining us.
Muted, yeah. Hi, thank you so much for inviting me also. It's lovely to be here. Right. So we will be talking about emotional intelligence today and just a basic understanding of what emotional intelligence is. It is only about understanding yourself and the people around you, right? It's about knowing how to manage your rapport with other people, how to resolve conflicts, and how you regulate your own emotions as well, right? And I think that what should really be taught to children early on is how to recognize and accurately label, your own emotions and how you're going to behave, moving forward as well. So lessons in empathy, right? Lessons in how a person should talk, how a person should listen, right? How are you resolving conflict? All of these things are, I feel, extremely important to actually discuss, as kids in school. So how that makes their best professional, right? And chances are, till date, we don't even know what actually motivates our best performance as well, right? Being taught listening skills as well. We can stop aggravating the conflicts even further, right? How do we negotiate like a win-win solution for all of us? And what we should also kind of be taught like as skills is social emotional learning skills, and namely a few of these when it comes to emotional intelligence, like the core components are self-awareness, self-management, social skills, empathy, and motivation. Now, self-awareness in just very general words is how the core qualities that one has that distinguishes you from the next person. It involves a lot of self-observation, a lot of self-reflection, right? When you understand your own feelings, your own behaviors, your thoughts, it enables you to make better, much better informed choices. And as a result of it, you feel confident, right? You don't worry about the path you're going to take or hesitate to make changes mid journey because you are self aware, you know what you want. And this also helps in making a lot of quick decisions. So that's what self-awareness is. What is also linked with self-awareness is motivation. Now, what is motivation? It is an inner drive an individual has to attain their goals, to achieve their goals, their desires, their dreams. That's what motivation is. And it brings in that aspect of willingness to work, that enthusiasm that you have to work towards your targets, your goals, with a lot of responsibility and with due diligence. And it also creates a focus, to reach your destination. It keeps you moving forwards. Moving on to what self-management is in emotional intelligence as another core component. As it suggests, self-management is how you manage your own emotions, your thoughts, and your actions likewise. And how do you control them? So some people who don't have that control over their feelings or their emotions, they tend to lose their nerves. They get stressed out in stressful situations, as it's very normal, right? But then you end up feeling later on that, oh, I don't have any control over how I feel, which is kind of wrong in some sense, right? Because you do have control over certain situations. It's just that you've not analyzed it, you've not identified it. So if you actively work towards understanding what you have under control and what you don't, things will definitely be a smooth sail from there onwards. Because people who are able to control themselves and stay focused and motivated, that's what self-management helps us with, because you are sitting down with your own thoughts. You are able to identify that, in this broad situation that has gone wrong, these are the lists of things that I have under control, and these are the lists of things that I don't have under control. And normally what people do is, during stressful situations, they tend to look more at the things they don't have control over, and then it further aggravates that stressfulness, that anxiety that is built up. So what is really important and what we need to focus more on are the things that we have control over, right? What can we work towards? How we can fix this thing, right? So it's also connected with conflict resolution. And managing anxiety, fear, anger, these emotions, it can be achieved if the person is very well self-managed. The next thing is empathy as another core component. Now, empathy helps you understand how the other person is thinking, how the other person is feeling. And it's one of the most important skills that a person should hone over time. It makes you aware of someone else's feelings, and how to act accordingly. So, like an example would be, if your friend is crying, what do you do in this kind of situation, right? Do you kind of just laugh at them? Do you make fun of them? Empathy in this situation would tell you to console them, to talk to them, to understand how they're feeling, what they're going through. That's what it does. And linked with empathy are your social skills. Now, it is very important to kind of be approachable, to have that social nature within yourself, and emotional intelligence is required in this because it helps you build networks, it helps you manage relationships, which ultimately it helps all of us communicate and interact better with one another, right? So these are the excuse me, these are the core components of emotional intelligence. What I will be talking further are the advantages again, just to kind of sum everything up, and then I will be moving on to how you can enhance your emotional intelligence. So the another kind of advantages involved in emotional intelligence is that it can genuinely change your entire outlook and your personality as well, because it is helping you understand not only other people better but yourself as well, who you are, why you're different, why you're unique, how you can influence and inspire other people as well. That in itself brings out a change in your personality. if, let's say, for example, you're someone who is afraid of putting your creativity out there, emotional intelligence will help you, give you the tools you need to develop for said change. So it allows you to build trust, not only within yourself, but also trust with other people. It helps to build a connection. If you remember my social skills core component, that is what emotional intelligence again helps us with. And likewise, further on, it also brings out your true personality. And I think the difference between IQ and EQ in intellectual intelligence and emotional intelligence is that IQ kind of washes out the fact that is predicting who will become the strongest leader among a talented pool of candidates within an extremely intellectually demanding profession, right? That's what EQ does. And of course, IQ predicts, which career a person is well suited for. But EQ is just as emotional, is just as equally important, because it is helping you figure out that, all right, this person is well equipped to be the team leader. They can manage a group of people, right? And I feel that if EQ, emotional intelligence, was just as widespread as IQ, then our schools, our jobs, our communities, our families, we would be much more humane, much more, nourishing towards other people, because it is helping us understand individuals. And moving on to how you can enhance emotional intelligence are through a bunch of things, but what I will be kind of listing down right now, there are a few of them. One of them is communication, assertive communication. And strong communication skills are essential for emotional intelligence, right? um, so knowing what to say or write and when to deliver information is crucial for building strong relationships. So everything is linked here: your social skills, empathy, understanding each other, communicating how you feel. So for example, in a workplace environment, let's say, as a manager, communicating your expectations, your goals, it is very necessary, because you're keeping everybody on the same page. Nobody is being left out. Why? Because as a manager, you're supposed to be that leader for a person, right? Or let's say in a relationship, or even with your friends, communicating how you feel is an essential tool, because you are building network, because you are building relationships. And assertive communication, it kind of also goes a long way towards earning respect. What you are saying to the other person, how you are conveying it, without sounding too aggressive, without sounding too passive, right? When to kind of give out that information, how you were able to communicate your opinions and needs in a very direct way, but also how emotional intelligence helps us. Communicating, managing communication, how you are being able to talk to another person, which also comes under social skills. The second way to enhance emotional intelligence is through conflict resolution, and this is by how you are responding first instead of reacting. So when you are in a very emotional situation, right, the first feeling or the first outburst that happens is anger, frustration, which is very common. Help you to stay calm during stressful situations, right? Which can lead to bigger problems if you say something wrong, right? They understand that in times of conflict, the goal is a resolution, and they make a conscious choice to focus on that, to focus on resolution. So instead of kind of letting words sway and hurting other people, so always responding instead of reacting. staying calm during the emotional outburst, staying calm during the conflict that is occurring, which is of course understandably very difficult to kind of do in the moment, but over time, if you keep working towards it, if you keep managing it, you can be really good at it. The second way to also enhance emotional intelligence is listening, active listening skills. So people communicate through both verbal and non-verbal communication, of course, and watch for positive or negative reactions. Taking the time to listen to others in conversations, it brings up a lot of healthy relationships, because listening actively is a foundation for healthy relationship, right? You make sure that you are understanding, right? Paying attention to the non-verbal details of a conversation, how the person is behaving when you are speaking. Are they coming off as negative? Are they coming off as positive? And then you behave likewise. And this prevents misunderstandings, because you are listening consciously, you are listening actively to the words that are being said to you. It allows the listener to respond properly and also shows respect for the person who is speaking to you, right? The next thing is also to taking up constructive criticism, taking critique. And it's a little difficult for most people, which is understandable, because you don't want criticism for yourself. But if it is healthy feedback, right, it kind of just brings up more efficiency within you, right? Because it is important to be the kind of person who can hear feedback, right? And being open to feedback also kind of means you can take responsibility for your actions, and you are willing to improve how you communicate with others. So as I keep mentioning, everything is linked. An important part of increasing your emotional intelligence is to be able to take critique. So instead of getting offended or defensive, somebody with a high emotional intelligence, they take moments to understand where the critique is coming from, why a person is saying what they are saying, what is the reason behind it, how is it affecting my performance, how is it affecting others, and how they can constructively resolve that issue. So instead of looking at feedback or criticism, unless it take into consideration as to how you can change it further if there might be a problem. And this leads me on to also connecting having an open mind as a way to enhance emotional intelligence. Why? Because you are then also open to learning a lot of new things, embracing new ideas. So if you're working in a group, right, you would obviously want to give your own ideas, but then also having an open mind as to listening to what the other person is saying, you are just able to kind of capture a lot of ideas and work together as a team on that specific work. And emotionally intelligent people, they are easy to approach. You are approachable, you are polite, you are respectful, because they're good listeners, and they are considerate, and they help people understanding perspectives, different perspective, different ideologies. So having an open mind, again, one of the most important ways on how you can enhance emotional intelligence. And the last but not the least is also staying calm under pressure. Now, it's a very difficult thing to stay calm, but how you approach a stressful situation with a very calm and positive attitude speaks a lot, right? Tensions can easily be escalated, especially, so let's take a deadline, for example, right? Instead of kind of worrying or stressing out over the fact that, oh, time's almost up, I haven't exactly finished this project, as a team together, you work on ideas, you stay focused and steady on finding a solution, that helps you meet your goals, that helps everybody else also meet the goals and finishing that deadline. So staying calm under pressure, staying calm in stressful situations, difficult to do in the moment, but then again, as said, also if you kind of work towards it over time, you can manage it. Right, so that's it from my end about emotional intelligence.
Sorry, ma'am. In the beginning, we didn't get a chance to introduce you. So,
okay.
Rachel ma'am is a certified counseling psychologist from Gurgaon, India. While she works with most life and mental health challenges, the common ones are anxiety, depression, burnout, relationship conflicts, self-acceptance, grief and loss, personal growth and development, among others. She believes everybody is a work in progress and can change for the better each step of the way, if willing. She offers a non-judgmental, caring, and understanding safe space and believes in empowering each individual who doesn't feel like excuse me, their best self on bad days. She also believes in working together with the client, providing healthy guidance so that they are able to achieve a better, healthier, more confident, realistic version of themselves. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experiences and valuable advice. Surely everyone listening to it is more informed on the topic. We would reconnect. We would reconnect with you during the question and answer session in the end.
Sure.
Mentor Mitr courses, programs for working professionals, Compass Pro course, that is for 1 month, Habit Forming Pro course for 3 months, programs for school students, Ensure Optimizer course for 12 months, Habit Formation course 3 months, Compass course 1 month, programs for university students, Habit Formation course 3 months, Compass course 1 month, programs for working professionals, Compass Pro course 1 month of engagement, which helps you set right direction. Course correct your ongoing journey. Counseling session, SWOT analysis and personality assessment, analytical report based on above, structured customized counseling 1-to-1, 1 hour with the experts, customized template for your career roadmap, time tracker, set up a self-awareness program, flexible counseling session with mentor for total 2 hours time in a month. More features include free access to webinar during the month and a support 24/7 chat box facility. Moving on to programs for school students, Compass course for direction setting, that is for 1 month of engagement, counseling sessions, psychometric assessment, competitive ability and environment mapping, structured customized counseling 1-to-1, 1 hour with experts, track and option template, time tracker, flexible counseling session with mentor for total 2-hour time in a month, free access to webinar for 3 months, continuous support through 24/7 chatbox facility. Programs for university students, Compass course for direction setting, 1 month of engagement, counseling session, psychometric assessment, competitive ability mapping, structured customized counseling 1-to-1, 1 hour with experts, time tracker, tracks and options template, flexible counseling session with mentor for 2 hours time in a month, our support system 24/7 chatbox access. More features include 1 month to fee webinars. Our second speaker of the day is Vindhya ma'am. Vindhya Shenoy is a counseling psychologist who helps working professionals, athletes, and students effectively manage their emotions. She is not only a therapist but an excellent coach. Vindhya has touched more than 1,500 plus lives, and will continue to do so. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nikita. Can I take it forward from here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Awesome. So, like Rachel rightly has put all the pointers regarding emotional intelligence, I'm just going to add on to the same. Under the umbrella of emotional intelligence, we do have something called as emotional resilience. Those who have heard the word resilience, I hope, Nikita, this is an interactive session. Can I ask questions? Will the participants be able to respond via chat?
No, ma'am. Actually, this is a live session. We will take up the question and answers in the end of the webinar, in the question and answer session.
Yes, got it. No problem. So, when we talk about emotional resilience, so resilience as a word, it means, so we use it very often in our understanding of the city Mumbai, because most of the time, whenever let's take it as an example, when we have an issue that our city faces, whether it was the floods or whether it was any terrorist attack or anything, the very next day, everything seems normal. We are bouncing back as a city, right? So the amount of strength, the amount of recovery power that the city has, right? That itself is called resilience. Now, when we say emotional resilience, so this is the meaning of resilience, bouncing back. When we say emotional resilience, what does that mean and how is it different? Obviously, it is something to do with our emotions. So whatever we face, right, in our day-to-day life, there are a lot of challenges that we face. Now, how empowered do we feel to bounce back into normalcy? Okay. So when we look at the definition, it's the ability to recover from any adversity, react or respond appropriately, and bouncing back when life presents any kind of challenges, right? So this is the simple definition. I'm sure that you know what it means, but when we go on to understand how do we develop it, okay, we are supposed to do this, we are supposed to bounce back, we're supposed to be able to recover, but how do we do that? What do we need within us to actually be able to do this easily? So there are two psychologists who came up with 3 attitudes they said that can help you to be more emotionally resilient. One was Suzanne Kobasa and the other was Salvatore Maddi. So they talked about 3 attitudes. What were they? Challenge, okay. Second is commitment, and third is personal control. I'll explain everything in detail. Now, when we say challenge, the attitude towards challenge, how do you look at any challenge that you face? The attitude that you hold will impact the way you react to it, the way you respond to it, right? So it's important that we stop viewing the challenges as something that is paralyzing us. It's an paralyzing event. Stop viewing it like that. Or, negative reflection on our abilities or self-worth. So if something happens to us, if we start questioning our worth, if we start questioning our the fact that this has paralyzed me as a person, then it will be even difficult to bounce back. So the attitude we have towards this particular challenge can impact the way we respond to it, right? So that is the first thing, how we view a challenge. So stop viewing it as something that is paralyzing you, something that is questioning your ability, questioning your self-worth. So looking at failures and mistakes as lessons. So what attitude one should have, right? Looking at some kind of failure so how do you come across any challenge, some mistake that you did, or you failed at something, whether it was an exam, whether it was any kind of sport or any kind of relationship that you are going through, right? Any kind of failure or mistake that happens, looking up to it as a lesson, an opportunity for growth. That kind of attitude will help you to bounce back, to regain the confidence that how you can gather yourself and face it. right? Second is commitment. Second is commitment, creating a compelling reason. So now that you have the right view about the challenge, your commitment towards it, the attitude that you hold towards the commitment towards it, compelling reason to actually get out of your bed in the morning to do some action. So commitment isn't something that is restricted to your work, right? So when we say commitment, it's generally towards your work, towards a particular exam or something like that. But it's not just that. There is something beyond it. It's about your commitment towards relationships, your friendships, right? The causes that you care about, okay? And the religious or spiritual beliefs that you hold as a person. Commitment towards all this, right? How do you view it? So as a person developing these perspectives, what are you standing for, right? What kind of commitment do you want to give to different relationships that you hold in your life? And having a very compelling reason in the morning to get up and work towards it, showing commitment towards it, showing some action. Third is personal control. So when you're talking about commitment, when you are committed, when there is some action that you are working towards, automatically recovery is going to happen. Automatically, you will have steps to bounce back, right? Coming to the third one, personal control. Now, when you're spending time, like starting to spend time rather, and your energy towards situations and events that you have control over. So at times we spend a lot of time and energy towards things that we don't have control over. That is also involving other people's time, other people's energy. So in spite or irrespective of how much time we are giving the situation or the cause, or how much energy we are giving, how much time we are giving that particular cause, it is not going to be enough because other people are involved in it, right? So understanding that you need to try initially because you're kind of shaken, because there has been something that you're faced recently, some challenge that you're facing, anything that you need to bring some change in your life, you need to have confidence. And how does that confidence come? Because you are shattered, you have failed, right? So now you have an experience of failure, so you're going to carry that. How do you break that? By creating an experience of a way in which you start feeling that you can do something, like experiencing your ability in the right way. So that can only come in situations which you have control over. So maybe some actions that you plan in your day that is in your control, that can happen for sure 100%, right? Making a call to a friend or any action that doesn't require anybody else, your thought and action is enough for it to get fulfilled, right? So you can list down those things and focus your energy and time in that, gain experience that, okay, this I can do, right? So if there is a failure in your exam, some action that you have complete control. So getting up in the morning, sitting at your table, at least doing 3-4 pages of a particular chapter, that is something that you can do. You may not be able to finish the entire chapter, but 3 pages to hum padi sakte hain. So that is in your control, focusing on that, right? Or maybe if you had a very strained relationship with your friend and you want to work on it, you want to feel confident with that person again. So trying to take some action that you feel कि ये तो easy है, ये तो इतना तो I can do, right? So doing that, gaining experience that you have moved forward. So working on understanding what's in your control and investing time and energy in that, so that you feel empowered and confident. That is the whole idea behind this. So stop spending time worrying about uncontrollable events, and as it can make you feel lost easily, make you feel helpless, powerless, right? You're already feeling powerless, you're already feeling helpless, you're already feeling lost because of the challenge that you have faced, right? Now, again, doing something or thinking about something that is not in your control will add to that. So trying to channelize consciously trying to channelize our energy onto something that we have control. So this was my contribution to today's webinar, where I wanted to instill some idea towards how one can build emotional resilience. I hope I have explained what is the meaning of resilience and how you can work towards developing this, and exactly what you can gain at the end. Because when you are an emotionally resilient person, it will reflect in your work, it will reflect in your relationships, it will reflect in the way you carry yourself in any sphere of your life, right? And in today's world, you can never predict what is going to happen next. Everything is so uncertain with respect to so many different things, whether it's job, whether it's your relationship, whether it's family, atmosphere, anything that is going to be faced by you, right? You need to be able to have the confidence to bounce back, to be resilient emotionally. We never taught this in school. So there is a lot of trial and error that we do. We never learn these in a structured manner. So it's very important to invest time in understanding this, in practicing this. So I hope the three attitudes are something that you learned today and will start working on it. It's not easy. You need to spend time to develop this and be in practice to gain confidence in actually implementing these. So over to Nikita, and we can take it.
Thank you for sharing your valuable insights, ma'am. It has been very enriching, and people will definitely inculcate your valuable points in their future. Now, we would like to proceed to the question and answer session with our audience. So, the first question of the day is to Rachel, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is emotional intelligence same with emotional quotient?
Emotional intelligence and emotional quotient are the same thing. So emotional intelligence, when people say emotional quotient, right, what they mean is emotional intelligence as well. They go hand in hand, basically. So as I described earlier on, that what emotional intelligence is that you are understanding other people, you are understanding your emotions, you are understanding how to regulate your emotions, your feelings and thoughts. That is, EQ is given a broad category, but it also just comes under emotional intelligence. If Vidya has anything to add on to this question, Vidya, would you want to?
Yeah, so it's one and the same thing. It's just that technically we call it emotional quotient. The kind of data that we get at the end, we use the term emotional quotient for it. But when we are explaining the term, we use emotional intelligence. It's much broader. But when we are using it as a testing, when we're testing somebody's emotional intelligence, we call it a quotient. So.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is for Vidya, ma'am, actually. What are the ways to achieve a balanced view of oneself?
Oh, I missed your question. Yeah, for me. It was not.
What are the ways to achieve a balanced view of oneself?
What are the way? Okay. It's very difficult. It's a very broad question, right? What is a balanced view of self? Who can claim what is balanced, right? There is nothing right or wrong in how you view yourself, first of all, right? So it's a process that you have to go through. So there are a lot of structured ways. So, like I rightly said, that we never taught. We're never taught in school how to develop a balanced, if we can call it, balanced self view or balanced self image. It's left on trial and error. And today, whenever we face any kind of challenges, if we are affected, if we realize we feel helpless, we don't find a way out, we reach out for professional help. And when I'm working with my clients, I always often get a feedback that, I wish that this was taught in school. I wish that these techniques we learned in school, because what we do in a session is basically helping you gain a healthy coping strategy, right, to deal with your day-to-day life. or deal with certain really traumatic situations that you might face in your life. So a client comes to me with a particular issue. I help her with learning certain coping techniques, some tools that I give her. We practice it. She uses it in her real life. She comes back with a feedback. Okay, this is working for me. This is not. Let's work on this. She learned it. She practiced it. She uses it. Helps her. The next time she faces any issue, she's already equipped with the tools, right? So now, when she does that, whenever we are faced with any challenges or failures, or we are not able to deal with certain people, there are difficult people, there are difficult situations. Now, why do we call anything difficult? There is a difficult subject in school. Why do we call it difficult? Right? Because we are not able to deal with it. We're not able to understand it. We're not equipped enough to face it. We don't yet develop the abilities to, absorb it, right? When you do this, it's easy. Everything is uh, uh, looks clear. Everything feels doable. Everything feels in control, right? And when that happens, you feel confident about yourself, right? So a person who is doing well in school comes out as a confident person, not because he's intelligent or not because there are grades. There is a backstory that that person has been able to experience positive experiences about their own abilities to excel, right? So a balanced view about yourself is in foundation your confidence about you can deal with any situation. You have control over anything that you face. You will be able to find a way. So when you have that kind of confidence, obviously that is coming from a space where you have खुद को आजमा लिया है. That so that comes with experience, that comes with practice, that comes with a lot of dealing with difficult situations in your life, right? It takes time, it takes effort, and it's not easy an answer. I hope that I'm able to answer this question, but in a broad way, it's important that you're alert, you're consciously checking out on uh, your strength, working on your strength, identifying your strengths, working on your strengths, looking at your weakness, being aware about that as well, not seeing it as something that you're missing out on, but rather a space that needs attention. And as you go forward, picking up certain tools and techniques to work on those. If you feel that I am lacking in this, I wish I was good at this, and these 5 things I'll be able to deal more easily, then work on it. Find your ways, find the right kind of people who can help you out on your weak point. So work on your, whenever you're feeling low, look at your strengths, right? And it's not just you. When you speak to your friends, when you speak to your parents, when you speak to other people, when you get feedback, make sure you write it down. Because whenever you're getting a feedback, people are talking about your, if you're talking, feedback can be negative as well, but when you're getting positive feedback from other people, make sure you write it down, right? And accept it gracefully. Because they're watching something that you may miss out on. Right? So those are some things that can happen.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question is for Rachel, ma'am. How can we actually label the emotion? Because when we go through them, we are not really sure about actually what specific label would be suitable for this emotion, as there are many emotions.
Mm-hmm. Of course, and this is a very wonderful question also, and something that is really difficult to kind of identify and label, right? Like, let's say, for example, you had a fight, with your partner, or you had a fight with your parents, you had a fight with a very close friend. Now, during those times, you have a lot of emotions bubbling inside of you that, oh, how did she do this to me? How could she say this to me? And the most common emotion or the feeling that we're facing is usually anger, usually irritation, usually frustration, right? So now when you sit with yourself, because these feelings that you have, right? These emotions that just bubble up inside of you. You have to sit with them, you have to allow yourself to feel them properly, and then further identify what it is that you're facing in the situation, or if the situation has already long gone and you are at home, you are with yourself, with your thoughts, you sit down, you go over those, that fight you probably had, or that argument, or a sort of bad day at work or at school. You have to allow yourself, and you have to tell yourself that, okay, this is what happened during the day, this is how I felt. You categorize that particular emotion. If you felt sad, you write down that you're feeling sad. So one of the main things that during therapy, what we do is we tell our clients to maintain a thought journal, right? Because I know it's a very difficult thing, and it's, sometimes we feel lazy to maintain the thought journal, but it is one of the most important things, because you are able to write down how you feel. And the most transparent things I would say about a thought journal is that it is just between you. You are not telling anybody else anything. You are able to be transparent with yourself. You are able to be very clear with yourself, honest. So if you're facing a particular emotion, if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling angry, you analyze that situation that has happened. You identify the feeling that I am feeling hurt because this person accused me of something. I am feeling angry because I had this fight with somebody. That is how you properly go about labeling a specific emotion. I hope that answers the question. If there is anything else that's to be added by, Vidya or anybody, feel free.
Yeah, like you rightly said, I think identifying the triggers and making sure that you write it down, being aware about it, because you can't really emphasize too much on your memory, because there is a lot that you carry, a lot of information, and over time
Exactly.
you will forget it. So it's important that you maintain a diary and you write these things down. What triggers what emotion in your life?
Absolutely. And it's very important if you're private with your emotions, if you're going about telling each and every single person what you went through, chances are that what you're actually feeling kind of just gets lost in translation, if you know what I mean, right? So when you're private with how you feel, you sit down with your diary, with your thoughts, and you just kind of verbalize how you feel, or you write how you feel. That labeling then automatically comes into play, right? So before you go ahead trying to vent, which is good, venting is good, but try first venting privately to yourself, right? I hope that answers the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. The next question is again for Vidya, ma'am. There is EQ and that it can be measured. Similarly, how can one measure emotional intelligence? Is there a way for that?
Yes, of course. So there is a book that I have created, an ebook, which gives you format of questions that you can answer, and you can score yourself, and you can check on where do you lie in your strength with respect to emotional resilience. So I can share that book. You can contact me on Instagram. I can share the book. It also talks about, apart from the three attitudes that I spoke today, it also gives you an insight on 10 different, day-to-day practices that you can develop to increase your resilience.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is for Rachel, ma'am. How to deal with setbacks and overcome it?
How do you deal with setbacks and how do you overcome them?
Overcome.
What a nice question, because honestly speaking, I think when a setback actually occurs, we have so many expectations from so many things. And once, when we don't meet those expectations, we feel extremely bummed out. We feel bad, we feel upset, we feel angry and frustrated at, because you have those thoughts wherein you're saying that, why did this not work out in the way I wanted it to work out? So, first and foremost is identifying your expectations, what you want, how you want to go about it. Right now, let's say that you have certain expectations from a loved one, right? You have expectations from your family, your school, exams, be whatever it may be, right? Identify what you are expecting, right? And see if they are realistic, if they are attainable expectations, right? Because if something happens and it doesn't go the way that you plan it out to be, you will feel bad about it. So the main thing here is to just set realistic expectations, something that if it kind of something that will work out for you, because then those setbacks won't occur in the first place. So expectations, definitely one of the main things about these setbacks that you kind of face or have, and expectations are the main thing, honestly.
Vidya ma'am, would you like to add to it?
Yeah, so in my ebook, I've also written about 3 different ways you can actually work, how to view setbacks, how to deal with setbacks. I'll just talk about it in brief. So, like Rachel said, of course, expectations, you need to work on them, identify them, what expectations you have, what others are expecting out of you. At the same time, how you view setbacks. So, if you're looking at setbacks, see the way you talk about it to yourself. So if there is a lot of permanence you're adding, okay, this always happens. I'm never able to do these, right? So there's a permanence, always, never, right? So rather than phrasing it that way, so let's say कि my client never likes my work. So you're adding permanence to it. Rather than that, you can say, but my client didn't like the work I did, and there is some kind of change that I need to add in order for him to like my work. So there is no permanence. There is a way out, right? So there's no setback forever. Just by changing the way you talk to yourself about it. So there are 2 other ways in which you can work on yourself, how you view setbacks. Also, pervasiveness. Now, stop letting setbacks or bad events affect other unrelated areas of your life. We do that very often. कि एक जगह पे you experience setback and you think, in every sphere I'm like this only. I had a bad experience in one relationship. I'm very bad with making friends, right? That's not true. That cannot be, because 2 people may not gel well, but not that you won't be able to gel with anybody, right? So, how do you view that? The other is personalization. This is happening because of me and me alone, right? So, there's so many other factors that might be working in order for you to fail in that particular thing. So, not putting much thought and putting your effort in taking other factors into account and personalizing it completely is also going to affect you. So these are something that I've spoken about. That's what
Absolutely. And I think just like one other detail that I would like to add is, um, let's say, for example, you are going to a whole new environment. So you're going to a new school, or, you're new at the workplace, right? Either option, you have expectations of, oh yeah, first day I would make friends, I would, the teachers would love me. And just you have those notions in your mind, right? That, yeah, things will work out, but when they don't is when you feel bummed out. So the one point that I would also like to add is that expect discomfort, right? Because most of the time reality just kind of hits you in the face as not very kind, not very good to us, right? So expect discomfort and just be okay with it. Just because you didn't make friends on the first day or something didn't work out the way you wanted to, doesn't mean, as Vidya rightfully said, won't work out the next time around. Right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The last question for the day is for Vidya ma'am. Do you recommend some activities which one should be practicing in order to be emotionally intelligent? Like a golden piece of advice to the both of you.
Correct. So obviously, there are a lot of things you can do. Like I rightly put forward, working on your attitudes also and practicing them can help you develop uh, emotional resilience, and obviously there are indirectly working on your emotional intelligence as well, because you're dealing with your emotions, you're having control over your emotions, and when you have control over your emotions, you're better able to deal with what's happening in front of you, right? So practicing thought awareness is something that we indirectly also spoke about, that being aware, writing down, right, what you're going through, looking at, whether you have permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization happening. If that's happening, work on it. So when you're writing thoughts, look at some trend pattern in it, right? Practice thought awareness. You can also uh, you know reconstruct. So we work on a lot of reconstruction of cognitive reconstruction that we do in our sessions. So negative thought, what is the alternate positive thought? So write down the negative thoughts that you're getting and force yourself to think about an alternate positive thought. Is it coming? It won't come very easily, first of all, because it needs a lot of practice. It needs a lot of acceptance that ठीक है मुझे ये करना है, and letting go of that negative thought for a while and thinking in out loud, thinking of opportunities and options. It's not very easy, right? But forcing yourself, making it a habit, it helps. Whenever you do that, next time you have a negative thought, automatically your brain will start using this tool to think about an alternate positive thought. You're putting a lot of practice onto it. That is cognitive reflex. So learning from your mistakes, right? Mistakes तो होता ही रहता है. We are humans. So this is the best way. Mistake हो रहा है, failure है, no issues. That happens. Everybody is not perfect, and situations will never be in your favor all the time. Right? So mistakes, failure will come in your future. Now, how do you deal with it? How you view it? Right? Looking at it as growth, with the idea of post-traumatic growth. कि ठीक है, I can allow myself to kind of question, okay, I feel bad, all right, but not letting it linger on for too long, and working on it, seeing it as a lesson, seeing it as an opportunity for growth. So are you doing that? If not, practice that. So these are a few things, and the rest I've already said that you can ask me for the book and you can read through it in detail. The book has many other practices that you can incorporate in your day-to-day life. Very simple. These are also simple, but when you actually go to practice it, it needs a lot of effort and dedication and conscious effort.
Absolutely. And another thing to point that I would like to add to what Vidya really nicely spoke about is also just how you can practice it in your daily life is through taking responsibility. Now, if you know actively that you have hurt somebody, right, apologize or communicate that, okay, you know what, I did something wrong and I know that I probably might have hurt you and I apologize. So if you can see using a lot of I statements, right, because what that does is you are putting how you feel on the forefront, right? So taking responsibility for your actions, for the words you have spoken if you've hurt somebody, and apologizing directly, right? That is one way you can really practice emotional intelligence, because nowadays, a lot of things get mistranslated, miscommunicated, and people start to assume things. So to kind of just nip it in the bud then and there, you reach out to the person, you talk about it, because that in today's society is what we need: healthy, strong communication, right? And who knows? Because if you do apologize, people are ready to forgive, right? And people somewhat are ready to forget as well. So if you are honest with if you've done something wrong, then you be upfront about it and you make things right, and also through actively kind of examining how your actions will affect others, right? So before you take that particular action or before you think something, just kind of sit with yourself and you examine it, you identify. So a lot of cognitive skills are required here. You really have to analyze a lot of things, identify a lot of things, and the best way to practice emotional intelligence is definitely through writing first and just being with yourself. In today's very rushed society, things are moving so fast. it is so important to be just in the zone with yourself and then just moving onwards and upwards. So yeah, that's the golden advice by Vidya and I.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank both our speakers as well as the audience for giving us the time and support. Thank you for attending and engaging in today's session with us. I would like to repeat the steps to avail the e-certificate. Attend the full webinar. Once you see thank you displayed on the screen, there will appear a link to Google attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback form emailed. Fill the questionnaire that you receive on your mail for the details. Follow our page on Instagram and Facebook. If the above stated steps are followed, an e-certificate will automatically be mailed to you. Lastly, talking about the Mentor Mitr app. The app is available on Play Store. You can all download the app only on Android. The download is free of cost. Programs are paid. App is available in India, Philippines, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Italy, Malaysia, Nepal, Russia, Spain, and Thailand. It will be launched in other countries soon. Kindly download our app and get help in your career. If you have any queries with the app, please feel free to contact us or drop an email at contact@mentormitr.com or connect@mentormitr.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So, Nikita, are we good to leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your